Hello traders, today is Thursday, January 2nd, 2025. First day of the year for trading. This has been quite an interesting day, to be honest. I'm going to start with Apple. And as a reminder, please keep in mind that this is not financial advice. This content is for educational purposes only. Make sure to do your own due diligence and research before you invest your money or risk your money in any type of investment. Well, look at what the move that we actually had on Apple. Now, I've been telling you for a while that Apple, in my opinion, was looking already extended, and it was looking extended right in this area, but it still had a little bit of juice. And to be honest, I was day trading this thing pretty much all the way up. I did some day trading and also some swing trader trading, and it actually worked out pretty good for me. But I had some reservations as far as how extended this was. This move was extremely powerful. Now we have this pullback that took us down this level of support at 254. Then we went down under 248. And then we are breaking this trend line, which let me get rid of. And we are landing right on that 35 SMA. Now, I wish I could tell you that this level of support, that 35 SMA, is going to hold. I have my reservations on that. And the reason for that is because we have low liquidity here. And because we're still looking very bearish on the MACD and the TSI. That's the only reason why. I'm thinking you're either going to go down towards 237.5, or even hit this trend line, which I'm not sure if it's going to respect, and go down towards 233, even 230. But for now, let's just focus on this level of support. I'm not really very hopeful on this level at the 35 SMA. However, it looks beautiful because it did touch it and then it actually came back to the upside. Again, I have some reservations for Apple to the upside right now. I actually got some calls for Apple, but I think that there might be a chance that this is going to continue going down. And in that case, I'm going to buy more. These calls are for July. So I just want to see how they behave. And, you know, if this gets a little bit nutty, I'm obviously going to get out. But I do think, in my opinion, we have a little bit more room to continue going down. I love the fact that we bounce on the 35 SMA, but in this case, considering how the MACD and the TSI are looking, we might have a little bit more room to continue going down, at least towards 237. And let's see how we react on that area. I like the fact that we're moving very rapidly to the downside in these areas on the MACD and the TSI, and that RSI is already under 50. So we'll see. We'll see how it, or you know, we'll see if we get choppy on this area. We'll see if the 35 SMA really holds in this particular case, which it did today. Let's take a look at the 5-minute, and you had a massive sell-off from the beginning. Then you had a comeback, but then you just continue going down. You kind of found a little bit of a range on this area right here. This trade was pretty obvious, which I didn't take. And then you had this range again, and then you actually, buyers came back in, which, you know, might be something during towards the end of the trading day. But other than that, I'd rather in this case just trade based on the daily chart and make my decisions on that. I think that 237 is very possible, and we might actually retest this level and continue and move up towards 248. But for now, let's just keep an eye on how we're behaving between the 35 SMA, which I don't think is going to hold, and 237.5. Now let's move on to AMD, and let me take a quick note right here. Let's call it. Okay. Quite interesting how we are behaving here. So we went down under 120 or 121, if you want to call it. It's 120. The level that I have is 120.7. So we went down on this, under this level, and then claim it back up. Let's go to the 5-minute and see how this worked out. Yeah, you closed right under. You had a nice move in the beginning of the day on the 5-minute, got rejected on the 200 SMA, and after that, you broke support and then continued to sell off. Then buyers kind of came back in. I do think, however, that AMD might actually be setting up for a rebound and maybe continue going or start moving towards 135, which is this area of or this level right here. We'll see. Still look weak, but I also think that there might be already some exhaustion as far as selling pressure, and we might see a turnaround on AMD. Today wasn't a terrible day, to be honest. I mean, we saw a lot of red, but it looks much better than the last trading day, which was Tuesday, I think. Yeah, Tuesday. So we'll see how we do. But AMD is even though a lot of people are saying, I have said that myself, it looks like crap. I think is going to start moving to the upside sooner than what we think. Now let's move on to Bitcoin. And the reason why I'm talking about Bitcoin again is because it's behaving very nicely. One of the things I had, my girlfriend was here in the morning, we're in my office now, and she was talking about Bitcoin, and she was like, I might sell some Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, just wait. I mean, it's holding, it's in range, it's holding, just be patient. And that's what I tell myself as well, as far as, Bitcoin positions. I'm just going to wait. That thing that I really like, and I mentioned this yesterday, is that it's holding this level of support right here at 92. MACD and TSI are starting to curl towards the signal line. And what I said yesterday is, and today we're probably going to have a better look at how this looks. One of the things that I mentioned, if I remember correctly, is that the TSI yesterday wasn't looking too bullish, but now it's a different story. Now it's looking much, much better. Now you want to see these two indicators cross their respective signal lines. And after that point, then you can actually be more or get, I guess, some sort of confirmation that this move to the upside is going to continue going up. You are right now right under the 35 SMA on the daily chart, which is completely fine. I don't think that's going to represent a lot of resistance, which actually it did in this area right here. But we'll see how we behave here. What I'm going to say this again, I love the fact that we are ranging between 99 and 92, or let's say 100 and 92. And if we break 100, then we are going to start rushing to the upside again. One of the price targets that I gave in a prior video, and this was probably like 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, is an 120 is probably going to come pretty quickly, sometime before or by March. We're probably going to see 120, but I think it's probably going to be faster than that, especially when we see this kind of momentum and when we see this kind of, how solid Bitcoin is looking right in this area and it's not breaking 92. If you break 92, then as I also said before, you're probably going to go straight or get very close towards 77. But so far, it's holding very nice and it's looking pretty good. All right, let's move on to another name that I've been mentioning quite often, and I am let's talk about GEV. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because I've been keeping an eye on this for a while. The reason why I'm actually keeping an eye on this is because I love the fact that this is still in range. It's been in range for months already. When was this? November. Since the beginning of November. And look how this is moving. The market has been pretty choppy today. It's showing relative strength, up 3% today. It's a little bit up after hours, which I don't care. And you're mounting the 35 SMA again, which is not meaning much in this area, considering that it did break in this area on the 35 SMA and then it went back down, towards support. Well, now we're mounting it again. I think if we break 355 or 356, this might be a great opportunity. I love how the MACD and the TSI are looking. They're obviously not extended. They're very close to the zero line. The histogram is starting to look better. Volume is coming in, and there's a lot of potential, at least for now, to continue moving. You know, I love the fact that this whole move was so aggressive and it actually didn't pull back. It instead, what we're seeing is a consolidation. We might end up seeing a similar move to the upside as what we saw here. So we had this move from the very beginning, from April, and then you consolidated here, and then you have another run. We might have a third leg. Let's take some time, or let's be patient at least, and see how we behave in the next few days. One of the things that I also said yesterday is, and we are gonna get a little more color between today and tomorrow as far as the market in general. I think tomorrow is probably gonna be volatile and choppy as well, but you know, we might get a better understanding by Monday on direction for a lot of stocks. This is looking fantastic. I love the fact that we're coming from this move. You didn't sell off, you're consolidating, and you might get a move to the upside. If you break, however, 317 or 316, you're probably gonna rush to the downside quickly. So that's what let me put this level here. I need to see something. You're probably gonna rush towards 260 pretty fast, but I don't see it yet. I'm just keeping an eye on this. I'm not buying anything. I want to see this name breaking resistance. And then at that point, I'm probably going to jump on it. Okay, let's move on to the next name. And that is, where are you? Oh, let's do HIMS. And, okay, sorry, I was taking some notes. It's looking pretty good. You know, like on Tuesday, we went down 4%. Today, we got the 4% back. Let's take a look at the 5-minute. I just want to see the behavior of the stock. And surprise, I'm not surprised with how this moved. Very nice, very aggressive in the beginning of the trading day. And then you had a little bit of a sell-off, maybe some profit taking or whatever. But then you are right under 25.50, which is a critical level in my opinion. Now, if we start ranging on this thing, this is gonna look fantastic in a couple of weeks. Now, I'm taking HIMS day by day. I'm not getting into any positions yet. I think it might have a little bit more room to the downside, but I love the fact that we had a pretty solid day. You know, actually, I'm looking at this, and Robinhood had also a pretty decent day. But HIMS is starting to look more, I guess, enticing again, at least for me. I think that 23.5 is still in play, 21.7 is still in play, in my opinion. But just keep an eye on this level and how we break the level of resistance at 25.5. If we break tomorrow with momentum, you might actually have a move towards 29.7. It's that simple. MACD and TSI are not looking as bad as they did on Tuesday. They are giving you indications where you have a 4% day, then this might start curling up if we get another green day tomorrow. Now, it's critical if we are green tomorrow. Now, if it's red, it's also fine, because I think there is going to be a better price, entry price for us, you know, getting into HIMS. I really like this name. Long term, I think if I buy calls in this case, I would probably buy September or October calls, but I'm not buying in yet. Now let's move on to my next name that I also like, MBLY. So let's talk about MobileEye, and sorry, I gotta take it out. It's holding this level of support at 19. Today was flat. After hours is up almost 1%. That's pretty decent for after hour trading. But I like the fact that, well, it got rejected on the 200 SMA yesterday, or pretty close to it, but it's still maintaining this with a neutral, undecisive doji candle, which is completely fine. MACD and TSI are looking just neutral. The TSI is a little bit more bullish in this case. The RSI is not overbought, which is also a good thing. I do believe that if we get momentum either tomorrow or next week, this thing is going to rally, going to break the 200 SMA, which is critical, by the way. and it's going to move towards 25 or 24.8. 25, 325 SMA is going to be another level of resistance, but I do believe that this thing is actually going to move. I used to trade this back in this area right here. I did trade it to the downside somewhere around here, and then I did have a bad trade to the upside. I thought right after this range was going to move to the upside, and that didn't work out. But I do believe that this is my price target right now for MBLY is 25. Now we have to break the 200 SMA. I love the fact that we don't have very much liquidity in this area, and once we break this, we might probably find a little of resistance on the 325 SMA, but if we break, we are going to continue going up. There's a lot of potential in this name. You just have to be patient, and you just have to keep an eye. Just keep a focus list. I have a watch list, which is this giant list, and then I have a focus list, which is the names that I want to trade or the names that I'm really, really keeping an eye on. And sometimes I present them on my videos. Sometimes I forget. Okay, let's move on to the next name, and that is Meta. Very interesting move for Meta today. I did have a position in Meta. Do I have? No, I did sell my position in Meta today. And right, actually, I'll show you where I sold. No, I sold on the 1 minute. I sold somewhere around here. One of these candles started acting up, and I sold under this. It was for sure under this level. So it was, I believe it was on this candle or maybe on this candle. One of these two candles, I don't recall. But it was early in the morning, in the beginning of trading. And I did take advantage of this entire, almost this whole move. It was fantastic. It was nice. But I think I want to get back in. I just want to wait. I just don't want to have contracts with a lot of names right now. I think I want to be as conservative as possible with my money, considering that I just want to wait for the new administration to come in. And then after that, I think I'm going to feel less uncertainty. And the market probably feels the same. Uncertainty is not good. We had these terrorist attacks, and we had, again, the government that is not the current administration, just, swiping everything under the rug. And I don't feel comfortable with that. And I don't think the market appreciates that either. You probably don't as well. Anyways, so today, Meta, interesting. It was, you had this rally right here, very aggressive, and then this massive sell-off. You saw that whole thing on Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Nvidia, Tesla, we'll talk about Tesla later, that you had this nice move to the upside, and then you came down again. I had an Amazon position as well. I sold it on the rush to the upside, and then I got back in once I saw that, there was exhaustion as far as selling. And that's what we're seeing in Meta as well. Meta managed actually to close 2.3% to the upside today. I think at one point it was red. So this comeback right here was very, very nice. Once I saw this, I just didn't want to trade this name. I just wanted to leave it alone. I was already here, so why push it on this area? And I had stuff to do at that point anyways. But I think I'm going to get back in once we break 603. I'm probably going to jump on this with September or August calls and let them run a little bit. So yeah, that's what I have for Meta. Looking impressive. I think you got to see the level of resistance at 603 and see how we behave. We still have some, one more trading day for this week. This week, in my opinion, is going to be red and green and green and red and choppy. So that's what I have for Meta. Let's move on to Microsoft. And Microsoft, I don't know when was the last time I mentioned Microsoft. It hasn't been. Let me see. Now we want to know. Oh, actually, I mentioned Microsoft on the 30th. So let's see what candle we were looking at. Was it this one? Yes. And what I said was, because I made a post on X today talking about we are back at 415. I mentioned 415 on Microsoft as well yesterday, even though I didn't do a chart analysis on Microsoft yesterday, but I did mention Microsoft as far as levels of support and resistance. Now this level at 415 is very strong, and you can see it here. You actually basically touched it, came back to the upside. Now, do I think if that Microsoft has room to continue going down? Yes, based upon the MACD and the TSI. That's it. But I love the fact that you actually came to this level of support, and then you came back up. So this is another indication, in my opinion, that you should always find levels of support and resistance in your charts. They are super helpful. They don't hold all the time. I mean, this is trading, but they give you a good, I guess, idea on where supply and demand exist and what might actually happen. You know, again, it's not an exact science, but it works out a lot of the times. Anyways, 415 is very strong. We have more room to continue going down, so we might actually break it to the downside. And if that is the case, you're probably going to go down towards the 405 or 410. I'm not, let me see if there is anything around, this is 405. So you have this level at 405. If you see these candles right here, and you see this whole, all these candles right here, let's go. And that is right when you're hitting, yeah, you have this at 404, 405, and that is where the 325 SMA is. So if you break, hopefully you don't, but if you break this level of support, 415, which is very strong, you're probably going to rally towards the 325 SMA, which is going to be somewhere around 405 or so. Now, if that is the case, I would actually perceive that as a very good opportunity to get into Microsoft. It's as simple as that. If it holds and it gets choppy in this area, that will be fantastic too, because that means that we're going to move back up pretty soon. But please keep in mind that 325 SMA, 405 in this area, as far as price, is currently in play. Is holding at 415, which that's what I said this morning on X. But you know, you still have room to continue going down. The MACD and the TSI are not looking too good. The RSI is going to get into oversold territory soon if we continue on this red trend. I think that, and this, I posted this on X, I think that by the middle of the month, if nothing really crazy happens, I think that by the middle of the month, we're probably going to have great opportunities for trading. So this week and next week are going to be choppy, difficult maybe. Next week is going to be a short week, 4 days of trading. The 9th, I think the market is closed. Keep that in mind. But yeah, this is not looking bad in my opinion. If you have positions, well, obviously don't, you know, or if you have call options that are expiring soon, then you're screwed. But I do think that if we don't hold for 15, you're going down to 405, which is this area right here, somewhere in this neighborhood where the 325 SMA is. Now let's talk about MSTR, MicroStrategy, and you know, it wasn't too bad for a day for MicroStrategy. Bitcoin, you know, at one point today was up almost 3%, and here we are with MicroStrategy, up 3.60%. Not bad at all. This is an undecisive doji candle. It's a neutral candle, you know, for the most part. We got very close on Tuesday to my price target, which is 280. Now you want to see maybe another similar candle or a small candle in this area, you know, and predominantly going to the upside. So at that point, you're going to see the MACD and the TSI curling just like the RSI is already curling, which is a good sign. You just have to wait. I think if Bitcoin continues to go up, and if we don't have any crazy news, I think the MicroStrategy is gonna reverse and go towards 361, 341, and so on. There is a huge possibility And I don't like to make predictions, but I think there is a huge possibility that after January the 20th, when Trump takes office, Bitcoin and proxies are going to really, really rally. So there might be some opportunity here. I don't want to jump into them yet. I think there is too much risk, but I wouldn't mind starting getting a position a few days before Trump takes over. So like Mara, probably Riot, and MSTR, depending where we are at that point. But there is definitely opportunity. You still have to keep an eye on 280 as a level of support, so be mindful of that. But let's see how we consolidate here. Keep an eye on the MACD and the TSI. I use the regular, default settings on the MACD and the TSI. And the reason why I do that is so you see what the entire market is seeing or what everybody's seeing. You don't want to customize those indicators, because then you're seeing what you want to see, not what everybody else is seeing. Anyways, that's what I have for MSTR. Keep an eye on 280 as level of support, and let's see how we behave as far as volume, as far as MACD and moving averages and strength of the stock as well. Now, let's take a look at this daddy right here, and that is Nvidia. And 3% for the day. Crazy, crazy, crazy day. It's been all over the place. Kind of similar to what we saw on Meta. You have Meta right there, the same up, down, up again. It was, in a way, similar. Up, kind of like a little double top. We're on the 5-minute though, and then up. You did respect that 136 level, which I mentioned yesterday as well. And that is when I was also talking about 415 on Microsoft. This is quite, in my opinion, bullish. I love to see this candle. I think if we get another green candle, then you're going to see a divergence on the MACD. The histogram is already looking much better. And then you're going to see a divergence on the TSI. You're already having the RSI looking or pointing up over the 50 line. That's also good. We just have to break this level of liquidity and go towards 141. But this is looking very, very good. Yeah, I'm happy with my calls. They are up today almost 8%. And these are September calls, so I can let them run. I'm green on them, so I'm just gonna let them run and see what happens. So Nvidia is looking good. That's what I have for Nvidia right now. 3% for the day. Keep an eye on 336. That's the level you have to keep an eye for now. Now let's talk about where is this? QQQ. And let me take a quick note. Interesting. So yesterday what I said, you're under a 35 SMA. That's bad. Then you are also you are very close to the price that I mentioned yesterday, which is 503, and then you kind of had a move to the, let's go to the 5-minute, this move to the upside. Now you see the similarities on these charts, Meta, Nvidia, and whatnot. They had like this, like M looking double top, if you want to call it, whatever you can call it, whatever you want. And then you had this move, a little bit of consolidation and a little bit of a move to the upside. In my opinion, it is too soon to panic. I think it's very healthy to see this, just like what you saw here, and then you went up. Even just like what you saw here. Oh, now this is dramatic because this was August the 5th. Everybody was crying. Everybody was scared, including myself. But then you had this move, a very nice move. But if you see this, you have another move to the upside. You had this, another move to the upside, and so forth. Now you can just look the entire chart, and some areas are more dramatic than others. But then I do believe that, at least for now, we're still in an uptrend. Now, if we go down towards 503, that's fine. There's still room for that, considering how the MACD and the TSI are looking. You can see them right here. So you can get to that level. You can even get down towards 495, 492, what do I have? 493 over here. I wouldn't be surprised if you get there, but still it's not a bad situation in my opinion. So there is still a little more room to the downside, and that is why I also said earlier in the video that we might actually have very nice opportunities to in the middle of the month. So you still have a week and a half or so to continue going down. If we continue going down, and at that point you're probably going to see yourself at 495, 493, somewhere around here. These indicators are going to be under the zero line. This is probably going to be very close to 30, or if not oversold, and then you might have a nice opportunity to jump back in. That's how I see it. It's that simple. So it's not looking bad. Yeah, we're having red days. We're having this nasty drop, which is fine. We're under resistance or support, and we're getting to this level of support for 503. That's fine. We might continue, but I think there is going to be an opportunity to the upside. We just have to be patient and just don't trade for the sake of trading. Sometimes it's just better just to look at the charts and just love it, I guess. Okay, let's take a look at SOFI, and this is one of these names that I've been really, and you guys know this. I've been praying, just like Robinhood, and Robinhood is not going down, but I've been praying for SOFI to continue going down. So now you are right under the 35 SMA. You had a 35 SMA here, you had it here, and now today finally we broke it to the downside with a minus 8.25% move. Now we're very close to this level of support at 1315, or 1350, not 1550. And the MACD and the TSI are definitely looking very bearish. So we're probably going to hit this level, and if we break, lack of liquidity is going to take you towards 1168, 11.7. So that is also good. If we hit this level, these indicators are going to be under the zero line, and they're probably going to be ready to cool up and give you some opportunities to re-enter on this area right here. Let's take a look. I want to see my brokerage account, and do I have SOFI? Wow, I don't have SOFI on my list on my brokerage. Okay, so let's take a look at SOFI, which means I haven't traded SOFI in a while. I do have it. Okay, so I just want to take a look at. So that's interesting. It's not showing. Oh, I got it right now. Okay, sorry about that. I just want to see how much the contracts are, and I will tell you what contracts I would probably get for SOFI. Why is this more complicated than what I should? June, July. I will do September probably of this year. At we are right now at 13, 15. Okay, so $17. So 17 strike price, $17. They are at 2.77. So $270 per contract. Yeah, those are cheap. Those are very cheap compared to the contracts that I've been buying for September contracts for how you call it, for Meta, right? So they were like $7,000, each contract. So this is looking great. I'm really hoping for this to continue going down. I'm sorry if you have a position or if you have calls and they are not doing very well. And here I am saying, I want this to continue going down, but it is what it is. The reality is that I want to see a good opportunity and I want to take advantage of it. For me, a good opportunity is somewhere in this territory, 12 or 11. I have a level right here, 11.7. That would be fantastic if we get there. At that point, as I said, the indicators are going to look better. Right now, I think we still have more room to continue going down. So keep an eye on SOFI. I think that SOFI is going to do very well this year. Now let's finish the video because this went longer than I thought with Tesla. And look Look at this. So what I said yesterday is that my range was 365. No, actually, 330 to basically all-time highs, but I was considering 365 as my next price target. We got very close to it today. We went down in the low 370s. Let's take a look at the 5-minute. Now we all got the news about Tesla. They missed on deliveries, and that's what I also said yesterday. I said if the issue that I had with Tesla was, and you had a big catalyst coming today, and a catalyst that was attached to huge expectations. Now the problem that I have with that is that if you don't bid to the I guess to the level of the expectation, then you're gonna have a really, really bad day. Tesla was down 6% today. So you know, deliveries were below expectations, and then you saw, you know, a move to the downside. But to be honest, I thought this was gonna break and go down like 8% or so. I did buy puts. I did day trade Tesla because, I mean, the move was pretty obvious. So I did trade this move right here, and I was here. I sold somewhere around this big candle, and then I got another position here, and then this was smaller. I think right under the 35 SMA I was gone. I was done. So, but I don't think it's a good idea to you know, I guess trade to the downside Tesla. I just did it today because it was pretty obvious, but I do believe that we're gonna hit 365. That might be actually a point of reversal, but if it doesn't, then 330 is gonna be fantastic. Not sure if we're gonna go towards anywhere lower than that. I think you're gonna find some resistance in this area around 345 or so. But 330 is very, very possible, to be honest, if we break 365. But there's gonna be an opportunity to get back into Tesla. MACD and TSI are looking horrendous. And for that reason, I am more bearish for now. Long term, meaning even long term for this year, I think Tesla is gonna do very well. Once you know, Elon becomes part of the cabinet, you can really, at least what I think is, and there's not going to be legal issues for that guy for a while, and for Tesla, and he's going to be able to push his agenda very hard, and with that, Tesla is going to benefit, and Tesla investors are going to benefit as well. So we still have about 2 weeks for that, for those days to come, for Trump to get to take office. But at that point, I do believe that things are going to look very, very decent for Tesla. I'm just really hoping again for the price to continue going down, because I want to buy calls and I think they're going to pay, and I just want to get those calls a little bit cheaper than what they are currently now. Let's take a look, and with this I will close the video, but let's take a look at September calls for Tesla. Yeah, they are 8,000, so 80.65 for 380. But if you want to go for let's say if you want to go for 410, they're 6,900. So I want to see those a little bit cheaper. I would love to see that. Anyways, we are about to hit a price target that I had for Tesla, 365. We got pretty close today. Don't be surprised if we hit it tomorrow, and don't be surprised if you break that level of support, 365, and you find yourself somewhere around 335 or 330. That's all for you guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, and follow and subscribe. I would really appreciate that, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. Bye bye.